I can't think nothing better than spending my day with you. My life's sunny and better.
Hey y'all, how you doing? Hope everybody's good this morning. I'm doing a project and I thought I'd show you guys what I'm doing. With us having to go out in public and do some shopping, most of it we can do from home. But there are some items that you can't order online, or some items you feel more comfortable going into the store and getting yourself. Either way, mask is impossible to get a hold of. They don't exist for us, and they shouldn't. Right now they need to go to the medical people and first responders, the people who are really dealing with this, because we can stay home. And there's other ways of covering your face. But anyway, I was looking at videos online on how to make masks. My coffee, you guys. Anyway, I was looking online on how to make masks. And right now I don't have a sewing machine. My sewing machine is old, and it's over at my daughter's. We were trying to get it to work back at Halloween last year. Never did really get it working. So anyway, I just hadn't brought it back home and messed with it. I need to get another sewing machine. So, and that's going to be a while because, it takes money and you got to go. I was watching videos on how to make masks without sewing machines, and I ran across this one video of how to make them that it was really easy. So it just really tickled me that I was able to run across one. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 2 days, is cutting out masks and making them. Now, making these masks are so easy. They're so easy. If you can sew, if your hands will let you sew, and you have the fabric, like I already had the fabric cotton. I had bought these fat quarters from Walmart off and on when I would run across one that I like. And like, this is 100% cotton, and that's what they recommend you make them out of. And so I had, the material, and I had some elastic, which may not have too much more of that, because that's one thing I haven't been really keeping on hand. But I think I got enough to do maybe another 4 masks. But the thing of it is, it's real easy. And the video that I followed, I'll link her in the description below. I can't remember the name, but it was so easy to follow, and she offers a pattern that you can go to her website and download and print out. The only problem that I had is it's in centimeters. I'm not real good with centimeters, but I did a Google search and transferred it over into inches. And the pattern is just a simple pattern that you can cut out. This here isn't cut out because I left so I wouldn't cut away any of the measurements. But anyway, to make a long story short, that's what I've been doing with my time, is making masks for me and my husband. I've completed 2. The first one I did, I'm not real happy with it. I'm going to take all of the stitches out and I'm going to re-sew it because, okay, with the first one, it was a learning thing. I got these too long, but I figured out, like I said, I Googled, so I'm going to be taking these off. And as you can see, the seam and everything, even though I could do it, I want to do it like I did the second one. So, and I mean, it fits really good. It covers, I got my earpiece in, you guys. But it covers everything that needs to be covered. But it's a little loose because these are loose. These are too big. So I need to tighten them up, and that will tighten that up. See? It'll tighten it. So I've got to tighten it. And then I did this one because it's the only fabric that I had that would be kind of for men. And I wanted to make my husband one that would be kind of not girlish, you know. So this is one. Okay, hold on, you guys. I was trying to wear that so y'all could hear me really good, but, you know, hey. This is the one I made for him. And I got the measurements better. As you can see, it fits better. It fits really good here and here. So, and I figured out the seam to where it doesn't show. So, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to redo it. But in the meantime, I cut out, here's one. And then I got this one. Now, they recommend that if you make them in 2 different colors. That way you can tell the inside from the outside. And I didn't do that with the first 2. But what I did do is I took this one and I took a permanent marker and I made X's in it. And I made sure my husband knew to look for these X's. So these will be okay. And I will do the same with this. I'll put an X on the inside of it. And then I have this one cut out. Yep, I have 1, 2, 3 cut out. And there's another one that I have cut out. Oh, and I have this one. So I have 4 of them cut out. And all I did, let me show you. I'm gonna put it down because I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is and how I did this. Okay, let me get a sip of coffee. I came home, we went and got gas for our lawnmower and come back home, and I've been piddling in here. But I made some coffee. For some reason today I just want coffee. But anyway, I have this real cute bunny and lamb material. It's like an Easter. So I thought that's cute. So I might as well use it. So you take the right side, fold it against each other, is the way I do it. Because that's the way I seen it. I don't have an iron either, you guys. Isn't that awful? The things that you think I should have, I don't have. So I need to get me an iron. But anyway, let me take this off. Let me get some. I've been taking just paper clips and clipping them together when I take my pins out. Like I said, I made 2 copies. One of them, I cut all of the shape out. And the other one, I left together. Okay. So all I did was I took this shape. I hope you guys can. Okay. And you lay the rounded part on the fold. Okay. Leaving yourself room on either side to cut out. Okay. Then I took my pins and put them in to hold it so it wouldn't slip on me. So, okay. Then I took my scissors and I cut up. I just made a square around my shape, okay? So I could take it up off of the table. Okay. So that's the way I did it then. And then I take and I start down here on the seam at the bottom. And you're not cutting all the way. And you leave a 1/2 inch seam allowance for sewing it. And if you have a sewing machine, you guys, you can whip these up in probably 10 minutes or less. That's counting your cutting them out. They are that easy. But I don't have a sewing machine, so it takes me a while to stitch them by hand. Okay. Now this is just 1/2. You repeat this. You cut 2 of them out. Projects with. Okay. Oh, good. There's going to be enough. Okay. Then I take this and I pin it to the next fabric. And I don't take this one off. And I have this bag that I put all of my pieces in. Because I'll use these on a project and I'll share that with you guys when I do it. But now I have another one. Okay. Now I noticed that this one is just a little shy, but I don't think that's going to interfere with it, and it's okay. But see how easy? There's 5 that I have cut out that I'm going to be sewing this afternoon. Okay, and then I'll show you guys how I do that. Now, this will be a long video in order to do all this. So I'll do it, and if you want to skip through, you can. But I'm going to put you guys back up. So hold on. Okay, when you cut them out, as you know, they look like this. Okay, now, see, this is the way they look when you open them up. Because like I said, you don't cut all the way across because you're going to put it on the folded line, seam, the fold of your fabric. But when you sew it, you're going to sew all the way across. Even though this isn't cut, you're still going to sew it, you guys. So let me put you on hold and fix up my needle and thread, and I'll show you guys how I put this together. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm going to take, and I'm going to start in this corner. And I just use a neutral colored thread because I'm hoping that the thread doesn't show. And I didn't figure y'all needed to see me thread a needle, because most people know how to thread a needle, right? Just got to put my little knot in there to get started. And it's just a simple stitch, you guys. You're just going back. Let me make sure this is even. I don't cut very good, so it's probably not going to be perfect anyway. But anyway, you just go back and forth, just little stitches. Sorry, that's where I'll probably have problems keeping in the camera. You see, you're just doing stitches. And mine aren't the smallest. Now, what I do, because I am doing it by hand, and my stitches are not real tiny. I go over it 3 times. Yep, I go back and forth 3 times. I really liked my craft room. You guys will be seeing that video. It's coming up. It'll be coming up probably tomorrow, because I decided to do this. And then we're going to be doing a drawing today. So I'll be getting that video up. So it should be up right after this one. But, you know, you can set, the good thing about doing this by hand, you can just sit in your easy chair, in your living room, in your study, wherever, and you can just stitch it, you know. I can remember watching my mom when I was a little girl making quilts, and she would cut her squares, because Mom didn't have a sewing machine back then. Just couldn't afford one. But she would sit for hours in the evening and sew squares to make us quilts. She'd work all day in the field. In the summertime, of course, there wasn't a whole lot of time for sewing, but by wintertime, though, she would have quilts made for our beds, because she would take the time to do it. Okay. Now, like I said, I go over mine 3 times. So on this corner, I'm going to put another little knot. I do that in case I run out of thread and have to rethread my needle. I don't have to take it all out and start over. Can't see. And then I go back, trying to go in between where my stitches missed. Like see that in between that stitch and that? I try to hit that on my way back. That way it's doubled. Now, these are not masks like the health professionals wear. These won't keep you from getting the virus, but it might help. You know, like if you're out and you have allergies, like I have allergies, I have asthma, I have this on, I'm less likely to breathe in particles that I don't need to breathe in, if you know what I mean. So it does help. And then when you come home, you put this in the laundry and get you a clean one. So this one gets washed before you wear it again, because you don't want to wear one out twice without washing it. So that's why I'm making more than just 2, because that way my husband and I would come home, we switch them out. Because when we come out of the store, I'll put these in a Ziploc bag, and they will go straight to our dirty clothes to get washed, and we'll put the clean ones on. So that's, you know, the way we're going to do that. And I'll show you why I'm doing the bottom of this first, and why I started with the bottom when I get this. Like I said, this is 3 times. Now, maybe you don't have to do yours 3 times. If you got a sewing machine, you know you don't have to. But I kind of liked this yesterday, just sitting and sewing. It was relaxing. It gave me something to do with my fingers, my hands. Kept me from going in the kitchen and snacking on stuff I shouldn't be snacking on. Okay. Now, finish this. I really didn't have to take you guys along for this part, but I wanted to because I felt it was important so that you can see what I'm doing. The whole thing. I like to make sure my thread is all evened out. Now I'm going to tie this one off. There is a reason that I do this. You will see. Okay, let's go in. And then I'm going to clip it. Now, this here, you see the pocket? That's your first part. See? Okay, now I'm going to take the second piece and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to keep you guys on here and make you torture you while I sew the same seam across the bottom from this corner to this corner. I'm going to do it 3 times. And then I'll come back and show you what the next step is. So I'll be back in just a moment. Also, you guys, while I'm finishing up this here, a few more stitches to go for my 3rd round. The lady that does the tutorial that I watched, she put like a filter in it. Now, I didn't have what she had, and it's something, it's optional. It's not something that is necessary. It's not, you know, but if you have the material and you want to add that, you can. I think she used, it looked almost like a seam binding material. Now, that's what it looked like to me. She tells what it is, but, you know, since I'm not much on fabrics, I couldn't tell you. But anyway, I've got that 3rd round. Now, I'll be back. I got to thread the needle, and then I'll show you what we're doing next. Okay. Now, see? Here's the second part. See? So now what you do is you take your 2 right sides and you match them. This is from here to here. Let's see, match it straight across. Let me put you down here. You're going to go from this side to this side, okay? Now, a way of holding this together is take and put your little pins in it. Just to hold these corners. You don't have to pin it all the way around unless you just want to. If you're sewing it on your sewing machine, you might want to, I don't know. And then just match this up the best you can all the way to the other side. And I'm going to put one here. Ouch. If you mess with needles, you're going to get stuck. One here. Okay, see, I just pinned it. Now this is open and this is open. Okay, now, just a second. Let me put this here so I don't misplace those. Now what you do is you take and you sew across this top part. Okay, you go all the way across from one side to the other. You do not sew the small end pieces. You're going to do the top and you're going to do the bottom. Okay, that's what you're going to do. And you just match it the best you can, you guys. I never cut out two pieces of fabric the same, no matter how much I try. So one piece might be a little off, you know, but hey, it's me. I am who I am. I'm not perfect. Don't try to be. Just try to do what's right. That's all we can ever do. Okay, and I do this the same. I do 3. 2 probably would be plenty. I just like to make sure it's not going to come apart when we're washing them, because these will get a lot of laundry in. They'll probably be in the machine a lot. Well, really, I can't say that either, because we don't get out very much. And a lot of times when we get out, we just go for a drive. We don't stop and go in the stores. We're just out driving. So, there for a minute I thought I made a mistake, but I didn't. I didn't. So let me get on across here. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on pause again, and I'm going to finish sewing. I think you got the idea. You're just sewing across from this corner to this corner, and when I get this sewed, I will come back and I'll show you what where I'm at. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. I got both ends. I got the bottom and I got the top. Okay, now I didn't sew the sides, you know. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the sides. We're going to turn our work, because we want to make sure that we have it turned before we sew up these here sides. So okay, now this is what we have. See? Okay. Now, if I had an iron, I would have pressed it. I don't have an iron. So, now we're going to put our earpieces on, okay? So, okay, I have this elastic. This one is a little bit wide. I used this one on the first one I did, and even it might be a little wide. I think you can get it a little thinner than this, but I'm using what I have at home. If I get a chance to go out, I will get something thinner, but if not, then I'll use what I have, because that's what we do. But anyway, I didn't have enough of this one left, because it takes, let me find my pattern. Okay, let's see. Let me get the one that's not cut. Okay. The elastic that goes here is it's 5 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters. I guess that's what that means. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But what I did, okay, because like I said, I don't do centimeters. Don't understand it. I cut my elastic to about a 7 1/4. Now, you probably could use this. This is this elastic, but I'm not sure how you would sew that to get it to stay on the ear, because there's not enough there to put a needle through. So that's why I'm using this. And I'm going to measure out 2 pieces. Probably could cut it in half. I may do that. I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 7 1/2 is what I'm going to do. 7 1/2. Now you can measure and figure out. I'm going to take, and I don't know if this will work or not, but I'm going to try this, you guys. Because if I can cut it in half, I'll be able to make my elastic go farther. And since it's just going over the ear, you don't want it real thick anyway. Seems to be cutting okay. I'm always afraid of making that wrong cut, you know what I mean? Okay. So I was able to cut that in half. So now it's thinner. Now, what you do is you want to take and make, now you don't have to make this a seamless, but I like to take and push these corners in. Okay? And then fold this fabric down to where it folds in on itself. You see what I'm saying? There's that one. Okay, I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to fold this side in. Okay. Now, what I do once I fold it in is I take my needle. If I can find the doggone thing, it's big enough. You wouldn't think it would hide from me. Now, isn't that a big needle, y'all? Look at that thing. Well, anyway. And I start it, okay? Got to get it started and hide my little knot inside there. And I like to sew just a little bit right here on the end. My hand's not working good for me today. I apologize. After I do a certain amount of sewing, then my fingers get numb. So I can only make 1 or 2 of these a day. I pushed it yesterday and made 2 because I needed to have a couple for when we went out. But I can't do that every day or I'll pay for it. Okay. Now, once I do that, where I have, and as you can see, I'm just going back and forth over it. Now I'm going to take one end and I'm going to put it in there about maybe a 1/2 inch to an inch. You almost have to judge that. You want to give enough. You want it to be in there enough. Here's my opening and here's where I put it. So it's about maybe 7/8. Like I said, you know I don't measure. But you want to put that in. And then what I do is I go through the elastic and the material together. And I do that in and out, across. All the way. And I go down a little bit. I'm not trying to make this look pretty. What I'm trying to do is have something to cover up when I go out, and it's going to hold together through laundry. And so I'm going to take and put my thread through and work my thread down to the end of the elastic. that kind of gives it a little bit more of a tugging, you know, when you tug on them to put them behind your ear. You don't want them popping out. So I put a lot of thread there. If you have a sewing machine, you can back stitch over it several times, or ever how you feel comfortable. I always have trouble keeping my thread from knotting, especially when I'm using long thread, but I don't want to spend half my day rethreading needles. So when I feel like I've put enough thread in that to where it's going to hang on and not pop out of there, I go back to sewing on here, putting in my stitches. Okay, all I'm going to be doing now is sewing this across, and I will take and tuck this side in just like I did over here. So I'm going to put you on hold again. I know I'm putting you guys on hold a lot, but I don't know how to speed these things up. So by putting you on hold, you're not suffering through a long, boring sewing. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now we have one earpiece on. See? So I'm going to go and put the other side together, same way. I'm going to fold this in, give it a little inside tuck, both sides. This will help me to do a seamless stitch to where it won't show. It'll make it look better. Well, sort of. And I definitely need that the way I sew. So, okay. Now, that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to put a pin in this, because I've got to tie a knot in my thread. So, I am going to sew on the other ear piece, and then I'm going to come back and we'll show you what it looks like. How's that? So, I'll be back in just a moment. All right, you guys, here we go. There it is. Okay, then we'll put you guys up. Now, you see how easy that was? It wasn't hard at all. Just a little work. But if you have, like I said, if you have a sewing machine, it'll go a lot quicker. Okay. See? Covers everything. You could put a piece of elastic in here and pull it even tighter. But as you can see, when I breathe, I steam up my glasses. That's the hardest part about wearing a mask. Is if you wear glasses, it steams it up. But see? And it was easy. You know, it took me a little longer to sew it than maybe some people, but I have trouble with my hand. I have a little arthritis in it, and especially in this area. So, and I sew with this hand. So, I have to work a little harder at it. But I have one. And look at it, you guys. It looks like those little purses that people are making out of paper, you know, out of cardstock. So, see, you could probably do one of those patterns and just leave it open, you know, and you have a mask. So, we have one. like I said, my husband. And then this one is the first one I made. And I'm going to probably take it apart and redo it and hide the seams, because I didn't hide the seams on this one because I'm learning. And then I just made this one with you guys today. And then I have 4 more cut out and ready to sew. And I'm going to work on these today. I might be able to do one more, but I'm going to wait a little while, have some coffee, and let my hand kind of settle down, and then try and make another one. So that way I have 4 completed, and then I'll do the others until I get them done, and who knows, I might even cut up some more and do it. Now, I've seen on eBay, where, not eBay, but on YouTube, where some of the channels have been selling and making money sewing these. But if you did that, you're going to need a sewing machine, because you want it to look professional, maybe. or at least you want it to, you're going to have to whip them out if you're going to make anything. And sewing them by hand is going to take time. But if you're fast and a good sewer, you can do it by hand. But I'm not selling nothing. I'm just doing this for me and my husband. So anyway, just thought I'd come on and share. I'm going to link the channel below where I got the inspiration from, and check her out. She does a good job. It's simple. Her video that she does is about 10 minutes compared to this one, which is a lot longer. So anyway, you guys, have a great day. Stay safe. God bless, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, y'all. Keep smiling.